Hey everybody, it is Thursday. It means it's time for your Thursday thought, and my thought for you this Thursday is bird dogging in real estate. I've actually had two people ask me about this over the past, 3 or 4 weeks, and so I thought I would do a quick video on it. And so what bird dogging is real estate is where a bird dog goes out there and identifies and secures really great investment properties. And the way they do this, they just have to turn over enough rocks in a particular area or community to find the good deals. And so typically what happens is, well, there's lots of different approaches to it. I'm sure you have all seen those "We Buy Ugly Home" signs. I'm sure you've all probably received a postcard in the mail that says, hey, we'd like to buy your house cash, no questions asked about condition or anything on those lines. And then also what a lot of these people do, these bird dogs do, is they'll simply drive neighborhoods and they'll look for what appear to be abandoned homes or homes that are in a state of disrepair or distressed property. And they'll go do some research and they'll find that owner and they'll approach that owner and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I noticed your house, would love if there's an opportunity to find a win-win scenario, I want to buy your house from you. And then they look at the house, they analyze the house, and they're typically making offers or trying to put the homes under contract for approximately 60 to 65%, anywhere from 50 to 65% of what would be considered the after repair value. So if this home was 100% fixed up, it would sell for X amount of dollars, and just looking for a good delta there for them to be able to go ahead and make the money. And then one of two things happens. They either will flip the house themselves if they are the flipper or the investor, and they'll get it to in a nice condition. They'll get it to the after repair stage, and then they'll sell it on the market, and they'll make whatever that delta or that profit is, right? So they buy it for 65%. They put 15% of the home's value back into it. So now they have 80% of the home's value into it, and they'll make that 20% margin. So that's kind of how that works. Another thing that they do is they'll secure that contract with the owner, and then they will turn and they'll tap a pool of investors or flippers that they have at the ready, and then they will sell that house they'll all sign that contract to the flipper, and those make a much smaller margin. So let's say they buy it for $60,000 on a $100,000 home. They'll sell it for $65,000 to the investor. The investor will go and put his $15,000 to $20,000 into it, and then he'll make that 15% delta. So obviously a $100,000 example is very easy. In our market, where the average price is approaching $550,000, those deltas become bigger, but obviously the percentages stay roughly the same. So that's what bird dogging is, and really it's a niche in real estate, and there's money to be made in it. Obviously, the two biggest things that I think most people are going to run into as far as the difficulty in doing bird dogging is it takes a lot of tenacity, it takes a lot of rejection. You have to be able to take a lot of rejection, because obviously you're going to be contacting hundreds of these owners over the course of a few months, and you're going to be probably getting traction with 5, 6, 7% of them, and maybe only be buying 1, 2, 3% of the homes that you actually are identifying. So it just takes consistency in filling that pipeline and finding the homes and contacting the owners and just turning over enough rocks to find the deals. And the second thing that really is a skill set is you have to be able to identify the home and what its ARV actually will be, and then what will it take to get it there. Because does the house need $5,000? Does it need $50,000? Does it need $150,000? You have to have a skill set to be able to know that, and you have to be able to ascertain and do that kind of calculations quickly. So ultimately, that's where a lot of people run into difficulty in doing it. They just don't have the tenacity to stick with it for long enough to fill the pipeline and turn over enough rocks to find the deals, and B, when they do find them, they don't have the skill set needed to actually be able to analyze the property. So ultimately, that's kind of what bird dogging is in real estate, and that was my thought for you. So hope it was helpful, if it was informational. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions about this or anything else in real estate, reach out, drop comments below, and I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. Thanks very much. Thanks for tuning into this week's Thursday Thought, and we'll see you next week on next week's Thursday Thought. Ciao.